All right. Welcome. We're so excited to have everyone. This is our little group that we are going to be talking tonight about some business building tips. And these are a bunch of amazing leaders all on Team Taylor. So we're all one big team, just different legs of the amazing Team Taylor. We have Michelle Collins, Rachel Schaefer, Robin Wee, Melissa Venus, Heather Folks, and me, Taryn Mulcahy. So we are going to start off with Michelle Collins, and she's got some amazing stuff. Michelle is Fast Start. She started Fast Start Gold when she first started with this company. So she is definitely a rock star. And I've followed her since the beginning. And I love hearing what she has to say. So go, Michelle.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Collins, Senior Ruby with Plexus. I did Fast Start my leg, and then I fast started my husband's leg as well. Don't ask me how I did that because I kept telling Amy that I couldn't do that, but here I am. So I want to let you know, first of all, I am in my car. My daughter unexpectedly had AAU travel ball tonight. So, you got to make it work, right? So, hello. I said be quiet. That was my daughter. Sorry.
You mentioned me.
So my topic is being bold. But before I get into those real pointers, I just kind of want to talk a little bit about me for just a second. I am a registered nurse. I work in management 40 hours a week. I also do home health, 2 home health jobs. My kids are doing sports. I live on a farm. So there are tons of things going on at my house every day. Like today, I got up at 4:30. I seen my home health patients. I went to work for 8 hours. I squeezed in a doctor visit. I came home and made dinner. We headed to AAU ball, and now I'm doing the training. So the point of all of that is kind of, we have to make time. People make time for things that are important to them. And I think that making time for this business is a big role player in being bold. You can say you're all in as much as you want, but if you can't make time to do the things that it's required to do, then you're not really all in. You don't really understand what being bold is all about. So I don't forget what I'm supposed to say. I have everything written down. Being bold takes unwavering belief, and you have to have time to do that. You can work Plexus part-time, but you can't work Plexus sometimes. Does that make sense, everybody? Yes, right? So to me, being bold means you're confident, you're courageous, and you're directed. People that choose to be bold are inspiring, not because they do big things, but because they instigate growth, progress, and movement for themselves and others around them. So my first tip for being bold is to own your flaws and your strengths. You have to know what you're good at, you have to know what you need to work on, and you need to be comfortable reaching out to your team to step up in those areas that you're weak, and be comfortable stepping up for them in areas that they're weak. I am pretty good at building relationships, and I guess I'm pretty good at recruiting somehow. But I'm not so good at public speaking, and I'm sure you can tell that already. I am working on improving public speaking, my weakness, and my strengths, because I don't want to lose the areas that I am strong in. And my next step is to set clear priorities. You have to know what your objectives are and prioritize them. You have to avoid unimportant activities that lead to distractions. So a big distractor for me for a long time was Facebook scrolling. I thought I needed to like and comment on all of my team members and everyone that I'm friends with just to stay active. And that's not a necessary activity. So I've had to stop doing that, and I have to still make myself. I catch myself doing it, but I don't do it for hours anymore. So I'm getting better. Number 3 would be to speak up. If you have something to say it, but know how to say it. You have to learn to use tact and use empathy. Number 4 is pair your actions with knowledge. For example, we've asked Jules for advice. All of them say 3-way calls are what helped get them where they are today. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. We know it works. Just do it. Number 5, accept values of failure. Make failure a learning opportunity. So what? You didn't hit gold or senior gold or ruby that very month that you wanted to. But guess what? You're so much closer now than you were if you hadn't even made the effort to get there. And number 6, make the most out of small wins. So start with a small battle. Your goal should be to hit silver every single month. Make a plan, get with your upline, and make that happen. You actually have to put action into the plans that you start. I think that's all of my tips. I guess some of the things that I do on a daily basis that I feel help make me bold is I post every day. I try to post something of motivation or something that hits home with me, connects people to me. I avoid posting things that can steer people away. So like politics or religion, those kind of things, I try to avoid that. I post things that are engaging, things that make people want to interact, ask them a question about family or ask a question about shopping about something that gets people on your page. I am open and honest, and like my life is real on there. So my kid gets in trouble, you guys know about it. I go to the OBGYN and have a horrible experience, you guys know about it. But it brings people in. Like, people want to know you're not perfect. They want to know that your life is just as screwed up as their life is. So you just have to be real. I do post about Plexus every single day. I've never missed a day. I try to do it a lot about my journey, but sometimes I make posts that almost, I think, make people feel stupid for not trying Plexus. Like, it's this easy. It works because of XYZ. Like, I would feel stupid if I wasn't doing Plexus and I was reading these posts on my friend's wall. I talk to 2 new people every day, and I add 2 new people to Facebook every day. When those people accept me on Facebook, I go to their page and I like or comment on something. So I'm immediately starting up a relationship with them. Anytime anybody likes my posts or comments on them, I send them a Facebook message that says, "Thank you so much for supporting my Plexus business. If you have any questions about Plexus or the business opportunity, I'd be happy to help you." And I've signed a lot of people that I've never spoke to in my entire life just by doing that, because it opens that door for them to ask questions. I support my runners, so I have threads with my runners to help them reach their goals. I have an IPA thread where I give them an assignment every single day that they have to complete. Every Friday, if people aren't engaged in that, I remove them. And if I've added anybody else to the team or some of my runners, they can add people to the IPA thread as well. But if you don't participate, you don't stay in it. I posted my team page, which I didn't start my team page until I was senior Ruby. And just some of the crazy things, I guess, that I've done is I signed my current husband's ex-wife as an ambassador. I've signed my ex-fiance's current wife as an ambassador. I signed the guy that sold me a camper. He sent me a Facebook message because I talked to him, of course, when I was buying my camper. And he asked me in a Facebook message to give him my best sales pitch about Plexus. And I said, I don't really think that's necessary. I'm not a salesman. I'm a nurse. I can put you in a testimonials page where you can read thousands of testimonies of what these products have done for people. When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you let me know. Because if you're not ready, you're not going to be consistent. You're not going to stick with it. And that's not the people that I want on Plexus. So I'm just very open, honest, direct, tell it like it is. Those are my tips.
That's awesome. You are amazing. Michelle she's crazy bold and so direct. It's awesome. She was just telling us today about, she was wearing a t-shirt that said, "Ask me about Plexus" out at a restaurant, and walked by this table of 2 guys, and one of them said, "All right, so what is Plexus? I read it on your shirt." And she sat her bottom down and talked to him about Plexus, and his wife was having tummy issues. And so lo and behold, you never know where that could lead. But it's just little things like that where it's just being open and honest and sharing your passion, but not being afraid to talk to people. So thanks, Michelle.
Taryn, you have to tell the rest of the story.
Okay, so
want me to
it's
tell
actually hilarious. Maybe Michelle should tell it.
Okay, so my phone rang. Okay, so I wrote my name and number down on this receipt because this guy doesn't have Facebook. So this is when I went to Texas for our little leaders retreat thing. That's when this happened. So my phone rang. It was an out of state number. So I answered it thinking it's going to be a telemarketer. I was like, hello, really annoyed. And they said, hey, Michelle. And I could tell it was on speakerphone and there was a woman screaming in the background. And I said, yes. He said, hey, I met you in Texas and you wrote your name and number on a receipt. Do you remember why you did that? And I started laughing. I was like, yeah, you asked me about Plexus. My shirt said, ask me about Plexus. You asked me what Plexus was. I sat down and told you. You told me that your wife was a teacher for special ed kids and that she was having belly issues and that you didn't have Facebook. So I wrote my number down and you were supposed to give it to her, but I never heard from her. And he said, thank you so much, Michelle. My wife thinks we were having an affair. Oh, God, I about died. No, I said, no. You were really just trying to help your wife. So I will seriously talk to anybody, but I don't know that I will write my name and number down on the back of a receipt anymore.
We have established that Michelle is going to get business cards and,
Yes, I
and
am.
hand those out instead of writing her name on receipts for men.
Yes, I am.
But she is truly awesome and so bold and so great. That was really, really good. Now,
Wait,
Rachel.
Before you move on, I'm going to turn the light out in my car and drive home. So if I lose you guys, it's because I lost service, but I'm still here and listening, just so you know.
Cool. So now we're going to hear from our amazing Rachel, who is an incredible leader and has just a huge, huge heart. And she has some great, great tips for us as well. Are you good, Rachel?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, here we go.
Well, thank you, Taryn. So I'm Rachel Schaefer. I am a Ruby ambassador, 9 points from Senior Ruby. So really excited about that. Anytime those points want to roll in would be great. Just kidding. So I just want to kind of talk about being vulnerable. I didn't realize this was a strength of mine. I just thought that I liked to talk to people, but it's kind of been one of those things that when I realize what I'm talking about, it really is more of a vulnerability. And it's kind of taken me, it's helped me in this business. So I really feel like being vulnerable is a way to connect with others because you are putting yourself out there. It's hard. I will tell you, it is extremely hard to be vulnerable, but it is something that with time, it kind of gets a little bit easier. So one thing with me is I haven't always been someone that just kind of like puts my information out there. It was probably I guess it's probably when I started Plexus, but it really was before that. For years, just a little bit kind of a background about me. This kind of goes with being vulnerable. Obviously, I'm about to be very vulnerable with people I don't know. But for very long time, about four and a half, almost 5 years, my husband and I struggled with infertility. And there were many, many, many times I was like, why us? God, why us? And he really revealed to me that it is because he wanted to use me, use my voice, because I'm really good about sharing my heart and sharing my vulnerability in certain areas of my life. And when Plexus came into my life, I was like, okay, how is he going to use this with me? What is he going to do in order to use my vulnerability and my ability to kind of put things out there in Plexus? And so I did a lot of, soul searching when I first started, but he definitely used that to give me a voice and give me confidence in what I was putting out there. Because if you're vulnerable, you're relating to people and people see you as real. And I think that is really important in this business. So it gives you a chance to be relatable. You're not just someone behind a computer that is just posting about Plexus. You are opening your heart and you're opening up your story to these people. So one of the things about this is that it makes you a real person. So your friends and your family don't want to see someone else's success. They don't want to hear about someone else's story all the time. They want to hear yours. This doesn't mean that I'm expecting you to post your before and afters all the time. I don't expect you to be in your granny panties like Amy Welch, shout out. That's just her. So we don't all have to do that. Love you, Amy. But they want to see you. They want to see your story. So if it is you getting into a dress that you haven't worn in 2 years, post yourself in a picture of that dress on Facebook. If it's shorts you weren't able to fit into last summer, post about that. It is not you having to be in, skin tight clothes or workout clothes or showing your bare belly. That's not being vulnerable, what I'm talking about, because you still have to be you. You have to be real to yourself. And so you have to know what is going to work for you. But you still have to kind of put yourself out there. You don't have to do this your first month because it's very scary. But just know that people want to hear from you. They want to hear your story. So there's a second thing is there's a lot of tough things out there that people are scared to talk about. I have not been scared to talk about stuff. Infertility is a taboo word, but I feel like that's part of who I am. And so I share about that because I know that I have the ability to connect with other people on that side of things. Another place where I am very vulnerable, and I'm sorry, getting a little emotional, is depression. I suffered depression for years. It probably started back in high school, and I didn't want to believe it or anything like that. And it's tough, and it got really, really tough when we were going through all of our stuff, and it didn't get better after I had kids. It actually got worse. So when I started Plexus and I started realizing the difference in my mood, and my husband started seeing the difference in my mood, I shared about that. And people were like, you're putting your dirty laundry out there on the interwebs. But you know what? The first time I got a message from a friend that said, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that this has helped you. That's why I'm being vulnerable. And you have to be vulnerable because there is someone out there praying for you to share your story. It's scary. There are people that I'm friends with all the way back from high school that now know all my dirty secrets. Not all of them, but you know what I'm talking about. But the thing about it is on the flip side, I have friends that have decreased their meds. I have friends that are finally living a life that's happy because I put myself out there. So it's scary, but it's worth it. I promise. And it's really about telling your story. Being vulnerable is about telling your story. Don't feel like you have to be a salesperson because that's not what we're doing here. That's not what I want you to do here. You're sharing your story. That's what I do. I share about my struggles and I share about what's helped me. So it's about sharing with others. You have to have courage. It's scary. It's a scary world out there. Being vulnerable is scary, but you have to have courage. So your story is going to connect with people. It's going to connect with your friends, with your family, with people out there. Allow these products and this business to be your story that reaches someone. And then lastly, embrace your vulnerability. Make it beautiful because it can change this business and it can change somebody's life. That's what I got.
I love that. And you are vulnerable and your huge heart definitely shows. I love your posts. I definitely am always like, that was a good one. She's so good at posting realness. Thanks. So yeah, so kind of after being bold and really starting off with having the courage to say something and being vulnerable. We feel like it's really important to know how to follow up with people, especially ones that have shown interest. So our amazing Melissa Venus is here to talk about following up.
Wait, actually, it was me. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, so sorry.
Okay, that's okay. No, that's okay.
Awesome.
So I'm Robin Wheat, and I am a senior Gold Ambassador, and I am talking about follow-up today. So statistics show that 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th attempt. So that means not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 at least follow-ups are the ones that you make the sell with. So that's a lot of follow-ups. And when I think of my own story, it was about 5 or maybe even more, because it wasn't because I was bothered or mad or anything. It's just because I wasn't ready and I just didn't have enough information. Another statistic that I found was that 48% of first attempts are never followed up on, never. So that means that we're losing out on half of our sales because we're too scared to follow up. So I just want to say today to don't give up too quick, to keep following up. No often means that they just need more information. So I was thinking as to why I was scared to follow up when I first started. And the biggest reason for me was that I was always scared that I was bothering somebody, and I didn't want to bother them. I didn't want them to think that I was a salesperson. But the fact is that once I really build my belief in these products, what I had in my hands was something that they needed and that they wanted, and people want them, and they want this hope, and they want these products. They're just dying for something to make them feel better. So you just have to build your belief and know that you're not bothering them. The other fact is that I'm pretty sure that, I don't know all of you guys here, but pretty much everybody that I've met in Plexus has the biggest heart, and we all just care. So we want them to have hope. And so we're not bothering them. We care. That's the thing. I go places and I hear about people having awful, they're tired or their stomach hurts, or so as a friend, I'm telling them this to give them hope. So just build your belief and know that you're not bothering people. Another thing that holds us back is when we're ignored, or you get crickets is what we call them. And the thing is that people don't have Plexus on their mind 24/7 like we do. So they probably, like me, get to a stoplight and they see the message from you and the light turns green and they go on their way, and they take their kid to soccer practice, and then they go home and they fix the meal, and then they get ready for bed, and they never thought about the message again. So it's our responsibility to follow up with them. I can't tell you how many times that I have followed up with somebody and just said, just tell me truthfully, or just tell me if you're not interested. And they're always like, oh, no, I am interested. I just have been so busy. And people are busy. So just keep that in your mind, but write it in your calendar so that you know when you message them, and just know to check back. Something that I do for myself is, if I've been ignored a couple times, then I just go on building the relationship with those people. So back up from Plexus and just build a relationship. Message them and let them know that you're there as a friend. These are your friends and your family that you're talking to here. So comment on their post on Facebook. If you, for example, little Tommy won his soccer game, and comment on there. How'd your husband's surgery go? Or just text them and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. And just build that relationship back. And most of the time that happens, people are going to bring up Plexus, especially if you're posting like I do every single day. People know you're the crazy Plexus person, and they're going to bring it back up. So build that relationship back, but check back often. So I thought of a couple of examples of, for instance, when you go to a store and you walk in and you just want to scroll around. You're not really looking for anything in particular. And those salespeople like bombard you and they walk up to you, what are you looking for? What can I help you with it today? And you're always just like, okay, I'm just looking, kind of ignore them. So you have those types of sell people. And then you have the other types of sell people where you go to a store and you do need help. Like, I'm going to use the instance that I go to like Home Depot because my husband sends me for weird things there and I get really overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm looking for. And so I get in there and I am looking for this little screw that's like 0.2 inches tall and is pink with black polka dots. I don't know. And I can't find it. And I can't find anybody to help me. And so that's just annoying. And so you want to find the happy medium between that person that's bombarding you and then the salesperson that you can't find. You want to be available and you want to help them if they need help, but you don't want to bombard them. And I wanted to share, I didn't know if I wanted to share this, but I'm going to because I think it's going to be really helpful to a lot of us because it does have to do with network marketing. So I have a cousin and she sells network marketing products. And she invited me to a Facebook party about 6 weeks ago. And I went to the Facebook party and I commented on the party. And the very next day, they had posted a special. And so I saw the special and I was like, yay, and it was like for 24 hours or something. So I messaged her and I said, ooh, I'm so excited about this special. Which one should I get? And I never heard back from her. So then, so that was about 6 weeks ago. So then 2 weeks ago, we Snapchat together. So I took a Snapchat of myself and I sent her a picture and I was like, I circled the issue without going into too much detail what kind of company this is. I circled the issue and I was like, need help now. And so she messaged me and said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I meant to send you a sample and I'll send it right away. Well, that was 2 weeks ago and I haven't got the sample yet. So the thing is that I don't want the sample. I already know that I want the products. I just need to know what to get. I need to know the website. I need to know which package that I want. And she has not helped me with this. So she's losing on a sell really. Although she is my cousin and I probably will, if it was somebody else though, point being that I would have just gone somewhere else because, but she is my cousin. So I'm going to help her and help her to understand because if I know her, she thinks that she's bothering me or that maybe that I don't want the products really, but I really do. So don't lose out on that sell. Follow up with your customers. So that's all I got.
I love it. I think that's great. And your example is really, really awesome. It's so true. I know starting off, I was terrified of follow up and the right way to follow up, especially because like you said, I mean, none of us want to be bothering our friends and family. And there's definitely nothing awesome about, so are you ready to try Plexus? Are you ready? Are you ready? Can I get you going now? But there's so many ways to build a relationship and follow up, like you said, Robin. And it's so, so important. And when that little statistic came out, I know it's been posted before. I was like, oh, wow, like five. I usually check in like twice. And then I'm like, okay, they're done. But I've learned from that. But thank you. So it's truly, truly important to follow up. So now we are going to hear from Melissa. And that is right? Yes. Awesome. Okay.
Can you hear me? You guys can hear me? Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Melissa Venus. I am a Ruby ambassador, and I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about personal development and weaknesses. So if you're new, or maybe you don't know this, but when you sign an ambassador with, or when you sign up as an ambassador with Plexus, and then you sign one ambassador up under you, you are a leader. And you have to show your leadership skills. So I wanted to start this off with leadership, the definition of leadership, which I found today on Wikipedia, which I thought was really fitting for tonight. So leadership is both a research area and a practical skill regarding the ability of an individual to guide other individuals, teams, or an organization. So the part that really stuck out to me that I absolutely loved was it is a research area. So not many of us are natural born leaders. I was not, but it's definitely something that can be learned. You have to be dedicated and you have to be open to the process because it does take time. It's a process, but it's an extremely valuable one. And I'm going to give you a little bit of my personal history with Plexus to kind of have you relate to that. So when I started out with Plexus, I started signing a few people. It took me a little while, but I would send my little email to them with the document and I would follow up. But there was a part missing. I didn't know how to be a good leader or what that meant. I knew I wanted to learn. I knew I wanted to be a leader, and I needed my team, or I wanted my team to be successful in this business. So after a lot of conversation with my upline and a lot of soul searching, a lot of internal dialogue, I tried to figure out what was holding me back and what my weaknesses were. And those were self-esteem and confidence. Now that's me personally. It may not be for everybody, but for me, that was huge. I never thought I would be a leader. I'm a very shy, to myself type person. And the idea of leading people or having people look up to me scared me a lot. So what changed my outlook on that was my personal development. I learned through the process, and it's a learning process and I'm still learning, is I have self-worth. I've gained confidence, and I am able to lead a team and be successful. So Sarah Taylor had invited me and a couple of other ladies to a book study, and it was the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. That, for me personally, was a game changer. I never thought about personal development. I just thought I would, float along and people would be at it and it'd be happy, go lucky thing. I needed to grow, and I think that's important for everybody to understand. Like I said, not many people are natural born leaders. You need to grow yourself. So in that book study we did, it was identifying weaknesses, and it's a little assessment in the beginning. And I've worked on that, and I'm continuing to work on that. So it was an amazing book. There was a lot of eye-opening experiences in there, tons of light bulb moments, and very emotional. I'm a very emotional person, and I have my tissue ready just in case. That's just who I am. But it's just when you're growing like that and you're discovering things about yourself, it's an amazing feeling. So today, when I was trying to finish up, this presentation for you guys in this chat, I was trying to look at different things on how to be successful with leadership and where to go. And I came across something called the Art of Success, and it's called the ABCDs of Success. I found it, and I've kind of tweaked it a little bit, and all of this does have a little bit to do with personal development, so just bear with me as you hear these. But I thought it's something that's easy to put in your mind because it's ABCDs, and you could go through this. So the first one is assess. Assess your current situation and a solution, or a possible solution. It could be business, it could be personal, it could be health, anything that pertains to you. What's your current situation or current issues, and what are your solutions? What if attrition is an issue for you? Are you doing three-way calls? That's a solution. Are you doing your follow-ups? That's a solution. Are you troubleshooting? Another one, just an example, is has your market run dry? Are you out of contacts? You don't know where else to go. What about joining Facebook groups or moms groups or Bunko, or even asking for referrals? Now, those are just some, just kind of examples. But the thing with this is, and I'm very visual and I write a lot of stuff down, is that you have to be honest with yourself, which ties into your weakness, which ties into personal development. If you're not honest with yourself on what's going on and what's holding you back, you're never going to be able to grow and learn from that. Where are you lacking, and where do you need to improve? We all have improvements. Nobody in this business is the perfect leader, and we're all learning. If you're aware of your issues and working to correct them, you're growing, and your team is going to see that. So the next one is B, is building. Build up your skills and your strength. If your strength is maybe cold contacting or posting, or you're good at follow-ups, continue to do that and show your team those skills. You're helping them. You're building the strength by sharing with your team. Develop them into leaders and pour into them. It's kind of like a balancing act, I kind of think. We all work together. Some people are good at one thing and some people aren't, and then we all balance each other out. Reach out for help and find out where you are lacking, and your team or your upline or anyone can help you build up where you're lacking. The C is to clarify and create your goals and aspirations. So we all know this is huge with Plexus. Goal set with yourself. goal set with your team and write it down. Have a vision. Make a vision board, write it on your mirror, do post-it notes, whatever you can do to physically see that goal every day. And think to yourself, what is it going to take to achieve those goals? And part of that is personal development. You have to reflect on yourself to get to those goals. And the last one is D, which is develop. Develop yourself from reflection and study. So how can you do those things? So I am a book person, and I have my little prop here. I'm going to hold it up. I read this book, and I absolutely loved it. I did a, like I said, book study with Sarah Taylor and a few other amazing leaders, and that for me was amazing. You can do audiobooks, and I have a list of books that I can send to the leaders that are on this call tonight, and they can send it out to you. I think I got it off of Plexus Dream Team. So there's about 15 or 16 books on there, which are absolutely amazing. Like I said, I'm a book reader. I highlight, I read, and I reread, or if you're listening to something. But I think the biggest part of that is reflection. Put the book down, stop the audio for a second, and think. Let it sink in. How does that pertain to you and your goals, and what are you going to do to get there? If you can, attend seminars. Oh my gosh, those have been game changers for me. Between the book and the seminars I've attended, I'm telling you, I'm a completely different person, and so happy for that. And I've attended like Big Al, if you can, Leslie Zan, who was amazing, Scott Spate. I mean, if it's out there and you can, absolutely amazing, but those are great people to get books from too. You can also, like I was talking about, start a book study, which I plan on doing with my team soon. It's a really great way to interact with your team and show your leadership skills, and you're going to learn from them too. It's not just about you being in charge per se. It's about you all growing together and learning from one another. Again, it's that balancing act. The other thing is videos on YouTube. Whatever you want to load up, that's easy to do while, cooking dinner or whatever. So what I wanted to say about that is even just 15 minutes per day. If you're driving, like I said, making dinner, if you're doing something, it's going to show in your business, and it's going to show to your team because you're going to reflect that upon them. So I have a couple quick quotes here, and then I'll end this so we can go on. From the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, one of the quotes in there is, successful leaders are learners, and it's an ongoing process. Like I said before, we're all continuing to learn. We're growing with this business. We're learning as we go and helping each other. And the next quote is, the more intentional you have been in growing personally, the more you have to offer. The more you continue to pursue personal growth, the more you will continue to have to offer. So investing in yourself is so valuable. And this was, I think, on one of the team pages a little while ago. You cannot grow your team unless you grow yourself first. And that's amazing to me, because I never, in my wildest dreams, thought I would be learning about myself and personal development. It has made a complete change in me, and I know if it can do something for me, it can do something for my team and all of you out there. You have to believe in yourself. Believe you can be a great leader. Believe you can achieve your goals. It is amazing. And I have a question to ask you. Why not you? Why not? Are you holding yourself back? And the key word in this is you. It all starts with you. We're all given the same opportunity in Plexus, but it is what we do with it that makes the difference. So that's all I have.
I love that. That was so good. We did the book study on that 21 Irrefutable Laws, and it was really eye-opening, especially for me too. I was like, wow, got a lot to do here and work on. Awesome. That was really, really good. I love those quotes. So now we get to hear from our amazing Heather, and she is going to talk about developing strengths.
Thank you. Can you guys all hear me okay? All right. Well, I'm Heather Folks, and I am a Senior Ruby Ambassador. And like Taryn said, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about developing strengths. And I got the idea to talk about this topic because I know for myself, I'm really guilty. When somebody asks me what my strengths and weaknesses are, I tend to focus more on the weaknesses first. And like Melissa mentioned, it's important to know what your areas of strength are and what your areas of weakness are. But I think it's important too to not forget that we do have strengths, and it's so easy to just focus on the things that we're not great at. And sometimes that can just lead us down a path where we're comparing ourselves to other people that we think have those strengths. And sometimes we can just get kind of down on ourselves if we focus too much on that. So that's why I think developing your strengths and recognizing what your strengths are is so important, because then you can really understand how you can be a great leader by using your strengths. And I've been reading this book called it's called Strengths-Based Leadership. It's by Tom Rath and Barry Conchie. I'm not quite finished with it yet, but it's just been amazing and really eye-opening. And one of the things they said in the beginning of the chapter, and these are people that have conducted studies and interviewed tons of very successful leaders, and they compiled all their research into this book. And one of the things I thought was really interesting was that across the board, there were no two leaders that had the same exact strengths. There was not one strength that every single leader had. And these are all amazing leaders, but there wasn't one thing that they all had to have in order to be an amazing leader. And I really loved that because if you're looking at Gandhi, who was an amazing leader, he led with peace, and he wasn't so like outspoken and loud in everybody's faces. He was more about leading with peace, and that's not going to work for another leader like in the war. So if you look at those two different scenarios, you can begin to understand that that each leader has different strengths, and they can use them to lead for whatever cause they're trying to lead for. So one, I think it's important to identify your strengths and really focus on what your top two strengths are, and then focus on one weakness that you either want to develop or that you want to try to find in a team member. So if you can find a team member to join you who has the strength in your area of weakness, then that can help really grow your team and build your team a lot stronger, because they're going to fill in those gaps that you have. And so I think that really builds a strong team when you can find team members that can link with you and help you in those areas that you feel are your weaknesses. So I also think it's important to find out what the strengths are of your leaders, your runners. This way you can help by giving them opportunities. So if you have a team member who's really strong in product knowledge, or they're really great at hosting opportunity meetings, then you can give them opportunities to grow, and you can give them opportunities to use their strengths in order to grow your team. And in that way, you don't have to do that. If that's not something you like to do, then you can pass it along and inspire your team, inspire your leaders to use their strengths, and then you can just kind of sit that one out and let them grow. So one of the quotes that I really loved, and I'm also going to quote from the 21 Laws of Leadership, because this book has been amazing for me as well. I'm going through this with some people on my team right now. So one of the quotes that I really loved is, people are more productive and more content when their work is within their natural gifting and strengths. Leaders should get out of their comfort zone, but stay in their strength zone. So one of the things I really pulled from that as well was just because as you're using your strengths, it doesn't mean you should stay in that little bubble. You should still use your strengths to get out of your comfort zone. And so, for example, for me, I'm naturally encouraging. I'm really great at just building people up and just encouraging them when they're having tough times. So for me, I try to use that when I'm reaching out to new people or when I'm cold contacting. I try to just focus on my strength and how I can use that to build them up and to see the value in what I'm offering them. So another quote that I wanted to leave with is another quote from the same book, 21 Laws of Leadership. I think most of us on here find a lot of value in this book, so it's probably going to get quoted a lot as we listen to more and more calls. So this one is, contrary to conventional thinking, I believe the bottom line in leadership isn't how far we advance ourselves, but how far we advance others. This is achieved by serving others and adding value to their lives. So it's important to add value by discovering the strengths in your leaders and helping them to use their strengths to grow a strong team. And by understanding what your strengths are, you can begin to understand what kind of a leader you want to be, and you can work on developing that and stop focusing on what you're not good at. Stop focusing on what other people have that you don't have, because each one of us has different strengths, and we each have something that we can bring to the table. So focus on those strengths and focus on how you can be an amazing leader by using your strengths. So that's all I have.
I love that. Thank you, Heather. That's so good. And that book is amazing to help you find your strengths, I feel like, with the test and then learning so much. So again, if you haven't caught on, maybe you should try reading 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. It's a good one. So finally, I'm going to talk. I'm a little nervous. I get nervous with talking. And I'm going to talk about duplication. And this is kind of duplication for your team and duplication to duplicate yourself. There are a lot of ways of looking at this. And I like how Melissa said, when you first sign someone up, no matter what they are, if they are a wholesale customer or an ambassador who wants to start this business, you become a leader, and this person, they are looking to you for guidance. There is a great post I know that a lot of people have put on Facebook about why would you buy from your friend Multi-Level Marketing a product instead of just going out to GNC? And it explains because at GNC you're just asking some 18 or 20-year-old, hey, what do you know about this probiotic? And they're like, I hear it's good. Why don't you buy it? And then you take it home, and then you try it. You have no guidance. There's nothing. And with this, and why we share this and why we're so passionate about it, is because we are leading others. They're looking to us. They expect us to have knowledge. That's scary. I know, especially as starting out, but it means that you need to take on a lot of responsibilities when you're sharing these products to help guide people. So duplication is important, and duplicating yourself is truly, truly important so that your team is successful and it trickles down and everyone feels confident in what they're doing. So when you first sign someone, we have a fabulous, I printed it off. I'm not really a paper person, but this is in Team Taylor and it's floating around everywhere. Ask your upline if you don't have it. It's a new ambassador checklist, and it is so simple, and it explains what you need to do when you first sign someone up or get someone going. And one of the biggest things that you need to do is you need to send a welcome email. You need to welcome this person as your customer or as your ambassador for joining your team, and thank them. Thank them for taking a chance and trusting you, and tell them how much of a positive experience you want this to be for them. You want to help them reach their goals, health goals, or financial goals. And in my personal email, I send instructions. I say, this is how you log into your back office. It's called backoffice.plexusworldwide.com, and you log in. And then once you go there, let's get you started on your backup order. It's really, really important to express the expectations of these products and set those right from the beginning. A backup order is scary for a lot of people because they think that they're just going to be charged monthly and they're not sure how that's going to happen. But if you're honest with them from the beginning and tell them, you really, really need to give these products a chance. This is not a quick fix. You're trying to help your body to relearn different ways of balancing blood sugars and burning fat. So we need to stick it out. We need to be consistent with these products. And I don't want you to have a lapse because I want you to give it an honest shot. The most people who see great results, tiny wins and big wins, all stick with it for 60 to 90 days. So please, let's just work with me here. Let's make sure you don't lapse in products. Let's get your backup orders set. This is how you do it. Log in and follow up with them. This is so, so important, especially for just people trusting you and knowing why that backup order is there. Because a lot of times if you just tell them there's a backup order, they think, oh, well, you just want to make sure that I buy products every month. But you need to tell them why you want to make sure they buy products every month. It's really important. There's a reason. We want them to be successful on them. We don't want anyone just wasting their money. We want them to know that there's a reason behind this. So explaining to them how to set up their backup order, explaining to them how to log into their back office and what this means. I always talk about a little bit about the opportunity. If you're at all interested, if you like these products and know of anyone else, it's so, so fun to help other people to feel healthy and feel great or lose weight as well. And it's easy to get your products paid for. If that's something you're interested in, I would love to talk about it whenever you're ready. And I always, 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 no matter what, whether they just want to be a customer or they want to actually start selling the business, I always attach the compensation plan. I do a link to the compensation video at the end of my email, and I attach the Team Taylor training guide, because I really, truly want to stress sending a welcome email and having all of this stuff. People, no matter how close they are to you and no matter what they say, there are sometimes little inklings in their gut or in their heart, and they're reaching out to you because they're interested in Plexus, and they're going to tell you it's because I want to lose weight, or they're going to say it's because I just want to have more energy. And there's a lot of other factors that they're not really ready to admit to their self just yet, much less to you. And so sometimes you just never know what some of these things are, and they may be scrolling through and think, well, let me take a look at that compensation plan. I mean, my friend that I'm trusting is doing this, and she's having a lot of fun with it, and she feels amazing, and she's making money, so maybe I'll look it over. And next thing you know, they might have questions, and they might be interested. So I know it's scary, and you feel like maybe you're trying to pressure people, but it's not pressure. It's just, if you're interested, cool. If not, don't worry about it. Don't even open the attachment. I don't care. I won't know. So it's truly, truly important to send this welcome email to every single person. And in the welcome email, you need to thank them. You need to talk about the compensation plan that you're just going to put it in there. You need to put the training guide in there in case they get excited and they want to start and they just randomly make a Facebook post, and they can open up that training guide of how to get going with Plexus. Sarah made an amazing training guide for us, so I always attach it. And the biggest thing is you need to send them instructions on how to get started on their products. There are so many people who just start, they read the bottles, and before you know it, they're taking 4 BioCleanse on day 2, and they're having diarrhea, and they think Plexus is the worst thing you ever recommended to them. And you're like, oh, that's not what I meant. You should read the instructions. We want to ease you into them. So that's where the next thing is scheduling 3-way calls. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how scared I was to do these 3-way calls, but it's incredibly beneficial to do these calls. It does not have to be salesy or awkward. It is truly, truly, truly just introducing your friend to your upline, saying, here's another person who absolutely loves Plexus that I trust. And if you have questions and you can't get a hold of me, then she's here for you too, or he's here for you too. And let's talk about how to get you started. Let's talk about how to reach your health goals or your financial goals. Whatever you want to do, we want to make sure that we are all on the same page and we get you going. And that's really, really what these 3-way calls are about. They're just about making sure that we set everyone up for success. And I found it's really, really amazing how people are very positively responsive, saying, I really appreciate that. I mean, I had some questions. I just figured I'd get going. And now it's really cool that y'all both really are involved and care about this. And it's true. They feel like they're a part of our family, because that's truly what this is. And so you always have to add every single person you sign up as wholesale to your team page. Do not ever think there's no way they'll ever sell this. I'm not going to add them to the team page. I don't want to freak them out with what's happening, because it's just not true. We all know Amy Welch said she was never going to sell it, and she fast started, and she had Michelle Collins fast start under her, and she fast started her husband, and next thing you know, Amy is Sapphire in record time, and she never knew she would leave her 6-figure income in the corporate world to be a Plexus ambassador, and she loves it. And the thing is I always tell people in the email, I'm adding you to our team page because this is our Plexus family, and we are here to support each other, to learn about these products and this company. I want you to know what you're putting into your body, and I want you to just know that you have support, a support system. So you can turn the notifications off if it's way too much, but make sure you keep them on for our specific team page. Browse through it, go through our testimonial page. If someone comes to mind that you think you want to help with these products, I'm here for you. And it just kind of plants little seeds, because that's truly what this is about, is just helping others to share these products that are changing lives. And then a big thing with duplicating yourself is you have to be the person that you want your team to be. I know Amy talked about being your own rock star, and it's just truly, truly important. I know some of the biggest impactful moments for me were when some people like Sarah Taylor and Amanda Grubb and others hit Emerald and Sapphire and Sarah's Diamond, and they're still recruiting people. And I kind of had a moment of, why would they do that? Like, they've got plenty of people, and those people are recruiting plenty of people. Like, why would they still be doing that? But it's so, so important to be the example that you want your team to be. And for me, I was like, that's pretty rock star. Like, that's probably why they're there. That's probably why they're Diamond or Emerald or Sapphire, because they are still sharing these products because they're passionate about them and they want to help people. And so being the person that you want your team to be, I know it's great to talk about momentum, and your downline looks to you for guidance. They look at you. They want to know, does Taryn know anything about these products? I do, because I read about them and I find articles about them. So you need to do that too, so that your downline understands there's like, this is what they need to do. They watch you. They watch how often you post. They watch how excited you get in your team pages. You need to be welcoming every single person that is introduced on your team page. Even your wholesale customers, you can get them excited about, let's welcome everybody as soon as we have an introduction, because this is our Plexus family and we need to say hi to them and we need to embrace them and show them that we are here to support them in as little or as much of this as they want to take on. And we need to like other people's posts and give them support when they are vulnerable, like Rachel said, and put their very first Facebook post out there and they're shaking and want to vomit, because we've all been there. And then it's crickets and nobody even says like, I'm excited for you that you tried Plexus, and it's like all day long and it's just this random post that might have been my first post. It was like no comments, except Amanda Grubb, because she's my sponsor. And I was like, oh God, what did I just do? Because everyone gets really, really nervous. And that's why we're a team, and we really need to encourage our team. So the more that you are welcoming people, the more that you are commenting on everybody's posts and helping them and encouraging them, they will take action and they will follow you. And it's really important for them to see, they watch everything you do because you are successful. And so it plants little seeds in their head of, this is what I need to be doing. You need to get excited about contests. When people post, when your upline posts a new contest, you need to be excited and tag your team members in it, and then connect with them on a one-on-one basis. Did you see that contest? You can totally do it. Let's set a goal for you. This is going to be amazing, because people love it when they know that there's someone who is holding their hand and helping them and supporting them along this, and they're not just out there on their own thinking, how am I ever going to make that happen? It's so important. You need to duplicate yourself. So I think I probably had a lot more to say, but I might stop because I'm a little all over the place with my thoughts. But the biggest thing is I think we all have people that we really look up to and we watch their every single move, and we want to be that person. And so you need to be that person for your team, because that's how your momentum is going to go, and that's what they're going to start doing, and that's what they're going to follow, and that's what they're going to duplicate. They're going to follow up with their customers and troubleshoot if they're not losing weight. If you did that with them, they're going to think, oh, well, Taryn reached out to me every couple of days to see how I was doing on these products, and I did have some questions, so I should do that with my customers or my wholesale people. It's just truly, truly about you setting the example and having the excitement and the passion so that your team can duplicate it too. So I hope that was enough. So yeah, I hope these tips helped everyone. We had a lot of fun talking about it, and there are, oops, I just muted myself, some amazing people on this team, and so full of knowledge. So thanks everyone for being on the call. I don't know, do we take questions or do we just end it, or?
I think we can go ahead and probably end it.
It's been an
Within
hour.
about an hour. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Sorry, if anybody has questions, reach out to any of us.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks everyone for taking your time to be with us tonight. We're so excited. All right. Good night.
Bye.